Hello, and welcome everybody. In this video, we're going to randomly select 10 recently sold listings in Innisfil and see how many were purchased by Toronto buyers. Now, I did a video like this for Barrie, check it out if you haven't seen it, but to sum it up, out of 10 randomly selected sold listings, 8 were purchased by out-of-town buyers. Now, the way we know this is by looking at the cooperating sales agent or cooperating sales brokerage. Usually when they're not part of the local real estate board, in this case the Barrie real estate board, their office location will be listed in Mississaga or Toronto or any place like that, or it'll come up as a non-member. In the broad majority of cases, an out-of-town realtor will be working with out-of-town buyers. It's rare to see a non-local agent work with local purchasers. Sometimes it happens because it's a referral. Other times we see out-of-town buyers work with local agents because of their expertise on the neighborhoods and the local area. But in this case, since we're just generally looking at 10 listings, we are simply looking at the cooperating brokerages and seeing where their office locations are. And since we are just taking a small peek at the hundreds of listings being sold every month or even every week in Innisfil, it's gonna give us a general idea of how many new buyers are coming in, where they're coming from, who your new neighbors might be down the street, and overall just the changing demographic that's going on in Innisfil as each property is being listed and sold. Let's not waste any more time. If you are new here, what's up? My name is Andre. I'm a real estate agent here in Ontario servicing Barrie and the Simcoe area, and on this channel I make real estate related videos like this one. Check them out if you like it. Also drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this video. Okay, so hopping into the realtor system here, we're going to select recently sold in the last 25 days. We're going to do Simcoe County, Innisfil. The price range is going to be $350 to $750. I feel like that covers a pretty broad range of places sold in Innisfil, and then we're going to do freehold as well. So perfect, 18 matches. Randomly select 10. I am going to have to blur out some of this so I don't directly reveal what property sold for what, but here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So this is what I'm looking at on my screen here. On the first page, you have the MLS printout, which I'm obviously going to blur out the sensitive information, but it's just additional info that realtors might need. And then when you go down to the second page, there's two things. You have the listing brokerage, which is Century 21 BJ Roth. That's a local real estate brokerage. I know them off by heart because there's not that many of them here. And then for the cooperating agent or the cooperating brokerage, which brought the buyer, you see non-member brokerage. That means that they are not part of the local real estate board, and that is a counter towards or likelihood of an out-of-town purchaser. So I'm gonna try and keep track here. Okay, number 1, we have out-of-town. Next, we have Remax Hallmark Peggy Hill Group. That is a local brokerage. Following that, we have Home Life Eagle Realty. Now, a lot of these names from Toronto also have just like crazy stuff in them, like it'd be like Home Life Supreme Platinum Realty, because no two brokerages can be the same. So that's usually another indication that it's an out-of-town brokerage. In Barrie, you have like just a couple just trademark names for it. After that, we have Century 21 Green Realty, out-of-town, non-member brokerage. After that, we have Ferris Team Real Estate Brokerage. That is a local real estate brokerage. After that, we have Royal LePage Supreme Realty. That's an out-of-town brokerage. Century 21 Leading Edge Realty, out-of-town. Remax Hallmark Policeno Group Realty Brokerage. Oh, it says non-member brokerage, out-of-town. And then next we have non-member brokerage, and that is all. So 8, yeah, like last time, 8 out-of-town buyers out of 10 randomly selected listings. Just FYI, I know how to count on my fingers. I was just looking because I didn't count the local brokerages on my hand, because I would have to have like 10 fingers on one hand. So I just counted the out-of-town brokerages on my both hands and then left out the local brokerages. That's why I was just looking to see if it was 8. I was just double checking on that end. But there you have it. Very similar results to the one I did in Barrie not too long ago. Out of 10 randomly selected recently sold listings, 8 high probability were purchased by out-of-town buyers and 2 were likely local. Like I also mentioned in the last video and in the beginning of this video, I think there is a small discrepancy in the fact that potentially out of these 2 local agents, it was an out-of-town buyer that chose to use the services of a local real estate agent. We're not going to know that until I actually call them, and I'm recording this video a little late, so I'm not going to be able to call them today. Also, that video that I posted last time didn't get like 10,000 views like I was hoping to. If this one does, I definitely will call them, but in this case, we're gonna just stick to the fact that 8 of these 10 listings are, again, a very high probability out-of-town buyers, and 2 are local. This is a really great but brief snapshot that shows the overall changing demographic in Innisfil. I actually went back to June 2019, and out of 10, the first 10 listings I selected there, only 4 were out of town. So it went from 4 a year later to then 6 out of 10, or 60%, and now we're at 80%. So out of the listing that you saw down the street that says sold on it, there is theoretically an 80% chance that it is an out-of-town buyer that is moving in there. Again, changing the overall demographic of Innisfil, the population, and the growth that this city is going to see going forward. Now, there's a few key takeaways from this. Number one is I am an idiot for not studying this sooner, because if I could have saw that jump from 6 to 10 to 8 to 10, even in like October in 2020, and I bought something in Innisfil, or I convinced someone to buy something in Innisfil, that property could have very likely been worth 6 figures more by now. So I need to start actively looking, like every so often, out of 10 listings, how many buyers or where the buyers are coming from. And I think the next video on this is gonna be towards Aurelia, but we'll see on that one. Number 2, although we're not analyzing that much data here, it can have some lasting effects that you can take away from this. Number 1, as we see more city buyers move into the outskirts of Simcoe County, again, like Aurelia, maybe even more north into Bracebridge or Gravenhurst, which we do know Toronto buyers or out-of-town buyers that have moved there because it's obviously much more affordable. We've seen this. Number 1, it can decrease inventory in a submarket, and it can raise prices in a submarket to the point where local residents have to then purchase somewhere else, and they're okay to commute to Innisfil from Mississaga Beach, or say, but since these Toronto buyers cannot, they're willing to pay more for these properties in order to live there and commute to, you know, their work in the city, and because Innisfil is close to the 400, or any example like that. So even though we're looking at just a small sliver of data, it can have, you know, you can kind of analyze it in a way that has lasting effects on whatever you're looking to do with it. Say, for example, as well, we take and multiply these numbers. Instead of 10, let's do it to 100. Now, the probability here is that 80% out of 100 listings are going to be purchased by out-of-town buyers. Now, what does that mean? In the next 5 years, what is the demographic of Innisfil going to look like? And more importantly, what opportunities is that going to bring to you? I know for a fact that the eyelash and eyebrow trimming or threading or waxing business is booming in Innisfil and Barrie because so many Toronto buyers are moving in. They don't want to go to the spas down in Toronto, or they've left their favorite spas down in Toronto, and there's a lot of independent contractors, I guess, in that sense, now taking the opportunity to service that clientele. So that's something that would have been, you know, great to see coming before you even got there, and have your whole place kind of established and already ready to market towards this potential new source of business. And really, I'm just speaking my mind here, but I think there's a huge opportunity coming for snow removal in Innisfil and Barrie. You don't understand how many clients we talk to say, how much snow do you get there in Barrie? Like, you get like 10 feet of snow, don't you? Well, the answer is no, but a lot of these out-of-town buyers moving in don't want to buy snow blowers, or they might just go to work in the mornings and don't have time to do it. I think there's a huge opportunity right now, whether you're thinking of getting into the snow blowing business or you have a truck doing it, you can pick up so many new clients. Just go to a recently sold listing, write down the address, go knock on their door after it's closed and be like, hey, do you want me to plow your driveway in the wintertime, right? If they're out-of-town buyers, there's a really high probability they might say yes, right? Like, that's valuable data that's come from just looking at 10 listings. I am going to end it on that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if there's a specific city or town that you want me to do next. I might offer my thoughts on Aurelia with the changing demographic, what that might look like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.